When Bon Scott passed away in 1980, the world of rock music was shaken. AC/DC had just released Highway to Hell the year before, and they were rising fast. Bon's voice, stage presence, and attitude were a huge part of their identity. Losing him was not just a personal tragedy, it also left fans wondering if the band would survive. Even Paul Stanley from Kiss wasn't sure what would happen next. In a 2023 interview with Classic Rock magazine, Stanley admitted that, like many others, he had doubts when Brian Johnson joined the band. He said, "I was curious, like everyone was, about how that would impact the band and the chemistry they had with Bon Scott. And honestly, who could blame him?" But what came next shocked everyone. AC/DC released Back in Black just 5 months after Bon's death. The album didn't just keep the band alive, it launched them into another level of success. Stanley himself said, "What they created with Back in Black was just monumental. The way that album starts with Hell's Bells, it hit me like the first time I heard Black Sabbath, like holy shit." Stanley went on to say that although the sound changed a bit, it was still brilliant. That kind of bare-bones grit they had in the early days was replaced with this driving sonic overload, he said. But what was gained overrode what was lost. So what made Brian Johnson the perfect fit after all? Well, funny enough, he almost didn't join. Brian was struggling when AC/DC reached out. His old band Geordie had broken up, and he was broke. When a mysterious woman called him to come audition in London, he said no. He couldn't afford the trip and thought he was too old at 32. But then, by total chance, he was offered £350 to sing in a vacuum cleaner commercial. That money let him travel, and the rest is history. When Brian walked into the studio with AC/DC, something clicked. The band had been auditioning singers while grieving their friend. As Brian later said, every person that came in was a reminder Bon wasn't there. But when he came in and started singing, the smiles returned. The energy came back. The band started feeling like themselves again. Gene Simmons from Kiss also played a surprising role in AC/DC's early success. He discovered them playing in a tiny club and immediately saw something special in Angus Young. Gene invited them to tour with Kiss in the late 70s. He even remembered how Angus didn't have front teeth back then, but was still giving his all on stage. That chance helped AC/DC reach more fans and climb faster. Paul Stanley also reflected on this. He said Kiss never made anybody famous, but they gave bands like AC/DC, Rush, Judas Priest, and Bon Jovi a platform. AC/DC took that chance and ran with it. Looking back, even Paul admits he was wrong to doubt Brian. The man who almost didn't show up ended up helping AC/DC make one of the best-selling albums of all time. Back in Black sold over 50 million copies and became a tribute to Bon Scott and a symbol of resilience. Paul Stanley expected Brian Johnson to ruin AC/DC. Instead, he helped to make it legendary.